Alright, welcome back. So, what do you guys say it's time we check out the new class? Which is also the new race. The Dracthyr Evoker. Infused with the magic of the Dragonflights, the Dracthyr combine the resourcefulness of mortals with the power of dragons. Racial traits. Use your wings to glide through the air and soar from high places. Fully explore a continent to be able to soar there more often. Knock enemies away with your wings and tail. Increased mastery. Find additional rare regents when gathering. Evokers are a hero class, which means they start at a higher level. Evokers are innate casters who unleash devastating draconic spells on enemies or healing magic for allies, healer, or ranged damage. I feel like this is a pre-patch thing. They instead of male and female, it's just says body 1 and body 2. When it's clear like body 2 is female, body 1 is male, but whatever, I guess. So, I messed around with this when it was in beta, and I've got to say, there is quite a bit of character customization stuff going on here. And of course, you can entirely customize both forms, whether it's your Dracthyr form or your Visage form. This was an issue I had when it came to making a Worgen, because you could only customize your Worgen appearance, and whatever you chose here would also affect your human appearance. And I wanted to be able to actually customize both, and I couldn't. Now, you can actually be able to actually select them. In fact, I'm curious, did they make that change for the Worgen? Like, if you wanted to make a Worgen, like, rogue. And it looks like I actually now can go ahead and do that, but hold on, let me see. If I say wanted to go ahead and change his color, it looks like it actually does not change his appearance there. Okay, that did not used to be the case. It used to be it would actually have that, so I'm glad to see that they went ahead and made that change. So anyways. But yeah, if you're curious, there's some body sizes here. If you want to look at the Visage form first, it's got what you would expect. Skin color, quite a few different faces. Lots of hairstyles, though it only affects, it doesn't affect those. The horns are a separate thing. You'll have the hair as a separate thing here, and of course the tons of different hair colors. Different highlights if you want highlights in your hair as well. You can choose if you actually want a hair decoration or not. And of course this is, mustache, beard. This is on the male side of things. As you can imagine, there are going to be different options on the female side of things. So you can choose what type of horns you want, and that's going to be different. That's not going to apply for both forms. This is for each separate form. So you can, of course, change the color of the horns. Lots of real cool stuff there. If you want horn jewelry, you can do that as well. You can change the patterns of your scales. You'll notice I've got scales kind of around my face there. And you can change the color of the scales as well. You've got different headdresses, a few different ones here. You can change the look of your eyes if you want both regular eyes or neither to actually have any actual eyes. You of course can change your eye color, the ears, different earrings if you want to do that. Only a couple different noses, that's a little disappointing. I'm sure there's, people are going to want more nose options. And of course the color of the jewelry. When it comes to the body here, of course you can have a strap on your chest as well. You can of course change whether or not you have a underclothes top. You obviously can. Some are like, hey, can you dig it up? No. Now I would prefer that. That's just me. I prefer boxers instead of tights, like a thong or something. Nope. that ain't me. And you can change if you have scales on your body. Look at that. I actually find that really cool. And to me, that would make sense in that case as well. So, but that's just your visage form. Then we move to the actual Dracthyr form. We can, of course, change kind of this size here of your body if you want to be kind of skinny or kind of buff. Again, this is mainly just for the male body. The main color that you want for your dragon body. And as I said, this does not affect this. It's both different separate options, which is great. Secondary color strength. How strong do you want the secondary color to be on your body? The different colors you have here on your secondary. The color of your secondary color is what I meant. Different body patterns. And you can see like this is cinder, smoke, charred, ash, or just none at all. So kind of interesting little customization there. Body markings that represent different things like oath, wrath. The color of the markings. Spikes, if you want spikes on your chest there. Or leg spikes like that. The horns, if you want to specifically focus on the horns. As you can imagine, a ton of different, 20 different horn options here. Some look kind of crazy. Where it's just like, whoa! So if you want broken horns, there you go. Sickle horns. Coiled like a ram. You can change the color of them. You can decide if you want some kind of jewelry on your horns. Now this crest is, hold on, let me change, there we go. You can kind of see there. Now if you turn around, you'll see it kind of goes, it's, a fin, If you want horns, razors, spikes, let me change this angle here. Like an actual fin, spikes, thorns, bones, or even more scales, if you want to do that as well. And of course, you can go ahead and work on the face. There's only a few different ones here, but different snouts, very important. If you're going to have a Dracthyr face, the snout, just like with the Worgen. Face pattern. What you would want the pattern on like that upper head there to be. Markings on your face. Kind of like a war paint kind of option. You can, of course, and then when it comes to the eyes, so hold on. The eyesight, like before, you can change if you even want eyes there. Kind of creepy. The color of your eyes, of course. Various different options here. And the eye style. Slit, cross, you can see like the little iris right there. It's either a little slit, a cross, or glow. Yeah. Then we've got ears. If you don't want ears, you can go without ears. Natural, big ears with like wings, short fins. You can even go with an extra horn instead of ears if you want. Just extra spikes or horns. If you want spikes or bones for your eyebrows, I guess would be. Cheekbones. You can have extra little bones or thorns there where your cheekbones are. Kind of mess what you want your cheeks to be. Your throat, if you want a fin under your throat. I would think that would be a little irritating for the Dracthyr. Like, oh gosh, these spikes under my throat here. And this is where also you can if you don't want to just run around and look like you're kind of like bare naked as a Dracthyr, you can go ahead and put on your own kind of like custom armor to your appearance here. If you want like a crown or some kind of visor helmet like that. Give yourself some extra bits of spalders. So like, chest here, regal, tabard, traditional, a breastplate. So it's basically giving you extra little clothing or armor options for your appearance if you're not wanting to have your Dracthyr walk around all necky. And some extra arm spikes. And just extra armor options you can see here. Decorations on your wings if you want that. And of course you can customize your tail. Do you want just a bear tail, curtailed, a flail-like tail, a fin, a club, a diamond or a spade so you can have it kind of like a weapon. And of course, if you want extra ridge right there on your tail. So yeah, a lot of different customization options here. So I am going to go ahead and work on customizing my Horde Dracthyr here. Before I do that, actually, let me go ahead and let's take a look at what's like for the female Dracthyr. Now, I would imagine that here the Dracthyr options are basically the same thing. And it pretty much is, yeah. It's pretty much the exact same thing, except here it's a breechcloth. Huh. For the Dracthyr. But for your Visage form, you're going to have other options here as well. Headdress, ears, earrings, necklace, more jewelry. And yes, of course, they're going to be covered up there. Anyone hoping that it's going to be nudity? No, that's not going to be the case. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and, I'll make, one of each. One for the Horde, one for the Alliance. So you'll get to see that. So I'm going to work on making my Horde Dracthyr, and then we will see what it's like when you are done making one and then get into the game. So I will be right back. Alright. I'd say that's pretty good for now. I can always go to a barbershop and change these if I don't want them, or change my mind on them. But, yeah, this is my Horde Dracthyr. I went with this because the name of this hair is Super Scion. Get it? So I was like, okay, if they're going to let me have the option to look like a Super Saiyan, fine, I'll go ahead and do that for my human form. I went with kind of a more kind of white dragon kind of look. For one thing, that way it doesn't seem as if I'm picking one flight over the other, since I'm going to want to help all of them equally. But the other has to do with the name I decided to come up with for this character. You see what it is, right? If I recall, in Skyrim, PapaNeeks was had kind of a white color look to his appearance. So, PapaNeeks. I'll have to figure out what I want to name my Alliance Dracthyr. But yeah, I kind of like this. Kind of a mix of different things here and there. So it may look a little sloppy to some others, but I mean, like I said, I like it right now, but I can always change it at the barbershop later. So anyways, let's we can go ahead and make it, and now let's go ahead and see what it's like when we start as a Dracthyr. Now, again, my question is that Ysera or is that her daughter? I would think it's her daughter, but you never know. I'm pretty sure it's her daughter because that doesn't seem to look like her. But then again, remember, these characters all got a, well, except Rathian, I guess he didn't need one, got a upgrade to their character model. So I would think that's going to be Ysera's daughter back there, but it could be Ysera. Maybe they also upgrade her model, even though they didn't really need to, but whatever. Okay, so welcome back. I apologize. The game seems to have this thing where when you make a new character, it enables every add-on you have. Like, it enables everything. So I wasn't really able to fix or, like, do anything about that, and it just had everything enabled. So also, I didn't know it was going to give me this many more action bars here. That seems a little much. Can I actually... I don't necessarily need to have these right here. Okay, hold on. Which one is this? Action bar 6. Okay, let's get rid of that one as well. Okay, I don't need that many right now, honestly. Yeah. There we go. Okay. I think we're okay at the moment. So we actually start off at level 58, it looks like. So, we start off with Living Flame. Send a flickering flame towards your target, dealing fire damage to an enemy and healing an ally for that amount. Azure Strike. I'm saying that amount because obviously this is going to change in scale as you level. So, Azure Strike. Project intense energy onto 2 enemies, dealing damage, spell frost damage to them. Wing Buffet. This is one of the racials. A minute and a half cooldown. Powerful flap your wings, knock away enemies in front of you. And Tail Swipe. Lash out with your tail, knocking enemies within 8 yards into the air. Go ahead and just kind of put those over here for now, along with this one here, which is... Oh, Glide. Look, if there's anything playing the Demon Hunters taught me, you don't need to have that on the bar. You just jump and whee! So, one thing I do notice is that you can't double jump, obviously. That's unique to Demon Hunters, but of course you just hit the spacebar again and you glide. Now, you'll notice here's the cast thing there. We're not aiming anything. But, yeah,
I require a target.
We're still charging up, and bam! So here's what I'm wondering. Aha. So we start off at the War Wretch. Dracthyr, awaken! You awoke from a magical stasis. You have no memory of entering unstable ruins, and shattered memories are your only clues to a life that feels like a vague recollection. The Dracthyr before you is unresponsive, frozen in place by some unknown magic. You sense that within you lies the power to break your ally free. There may be others within the Kresh who are suspended in the stasis. It is your duty to awaken them. And as we progress, we get more abilities. This is very much like how it was for the Demon Hunter starting zone as well. They also kind of did this with the Death Knight starting zone as well. What's funny is I'm looking around, I'm like, where is this ally? On the ground. It's like, you have an ally. I'm like, where? Edict. Dark Talons. Dark Talons, where the enemies of the Earth Warder tread, the Dark Talons shall harrow their skies, crush their will, and topple their leaders. Deny our enemies solace in walls and borders. For every Talon in our ranks, you shall strike down 10 of our foes from behind. This Wyrn, currently under the authority of Scale Commander Sindra Thresh, shall train to be the elite forces that shall be feared by all enemies of the Black Dragonflight. I'm looking around, I'm like, where is this ally of ours? Dracthyr ally. Where?
I do not have a target.
I'm like, I am confused. Hold on. Probably gonna have to do this log out and log back in thing. I apologize if something was supposed to happen there, but because of all the add-ons that were enabled, it just got completely lost. Oh, here we go. So for some reason, it didn't quite work. Now it's all of a sudden working. Alright. It's going to be interesting trying to see if I can use... Although because I already have some preset armor pieces, I can't quite put them over what I have. But then again, these really are not meant to be for a Dracthyr, I'm sure. But this is also probably why the idea of getting rid of these armor pieces in your customization would be a good idea, because that way you can actually go ahead and put the sets you earn on your other characters onto your Dracthyr. So if I want to actually have this guy wear some of these other sets and stuff that I have, I'm gonna have to go get rid of these armor pieces I put on the character screen. So yeah, so be it. Fine, I'll do that. So Even though at the moment, let's see. So you start off with 206 gear, because we're level 58. We start off at item level 154. So, yeah. Anyways. Let's go Deathy.
Whoa, what? Evoker! What has happened? Who did this to us? Something is very wrong here. We must find our wingmates. This way.
The Dracthyr are breaking free. Contain them.
Lapasagos? Wait. You're running that way, but my guys are over here. Tathalish! Awaken!
I remember obeying an order.
Kethan, awaken! Oh wait, no. That's not gonna happen. From the long decay of time, have they been here for decades, centuries? Impossible to know. A faint hint lingers of the arcane magic that held Kethan in stasis. You feel a pang of loss. He was your friend. So, let me just say, right away, I get what they're doing, but right away, they've already made a mistake here. You don't have a character death at the very beginning and saying, he was your friend, because the player or the viewer is not going to care. We didn't know this character, so why should we care? I get what they're going for, but you have to do this. If you're going to do some kind of death here, you have to have it matter for the player, because the players are majorly going to be like, I don't care, I didn't know this character, so why should I care if I found them dead or not? Like, again, I get what the writers are going for here. You know, the idea that your character has awakened for so long and you're trying to find these, others that you had interactions with, but come on. Like, the players are just not going to care. I know how the players are.
How long were we held in stasis?
A very long time, by the look of our creche.
Obsidian Warders.
Let us discuss business.
Azurthal, or Azurathel, an Obsidian Warder.
My head. All right. We need to get our bearings. What is your report?
My memories are as broken as yours, PapaNeeks, but we cannot dwell on that now. We need to assess and make a plan.
The Obsidian Horde.
Hostiles have invaded. Our people have been confined in magical stasis, and our creche seems to be collapsing. This is why we train. When in doubt, fall back to what you know. First things first. Weapons, armor, supplies. Gather what you can find, and get equipped while I marshal our forces. Then we will locate the Earth Warder. Surely Neltharion can provide the answer we seek. Yeah, about that.
Stay true to your Wern.
Oh, so that's the resource we use. Tear into an enemy with a blast of blue magic, inflicting spell frost damage over 2.5 seconds and slowing the movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds. By the way, you'll notice I can't access the specs and talents because, of course, we're just kind of going through learning and doing stuff before we can actually make a choice. It's very similar to what it was like in the Demon Hunter starting zone.
The Dracthyr, stand ready.
Those constructs patrolling the creche are not animated by the Earth Warder's magic. We cannot allow there to be enemies in our midst. Destroy them to clear our path forward.
Remain.
Gear up, Evoker. Then we rendezvous with the Earth Warder.
Neltharion can
They will
explain
not
what has
sleep.
happened.
Then they must be
certain of it.
destroyed.
wonder if this guy... So he's a blue dragon. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's here on behalf of Kalecgos, or the blue Dragonflight. Huh. Hold on. Here we go. I've always wondered why they always have autoloot off by default. Edict, the Earth Warder. My Dracthyr, know that you exist at my behest. Through relentless training, you will be honed into the finest soldiers on Azeroth. 1. Neltharion the Earth Warder, empowered by the Titan Khazgoroth to serve as guardian of the deep places, created you to act as instruments of my will. While other dragonkin are sturdy and loyal, they lack the cleverness and adaptability needed to fight the war that is sure to come against those who defy the reign of the aspects. You shall embody the might of all 5 Dragonflights, instilled with the potential of the mortal races that have begun to spread across the world. Through service, you will find glory. Never yield, never surrender. Edict. Werns. All Dracthyr shall be assigned to a Wern that best matches their skills. Each Wern is focused on mastering a particular aspect of warfare, attackers, defenders, healers, tacticians, and infiltrators together. These units form the ultimate army. Every Wern shall be under the authority of a scale commander, a Dracthyr chosen and groomed for the position by the Earth Warder himself. Members of a Wern will become as close as clutchmates. It is a bond that shall never be broken, forged of duty and honor in service to dragonkind. Well, I will say this. I always hoped that they would give us the option to actually become, play as a dragon, and they kind of gave that, so let's see some of the other stuff here. Tempered Scales, passive. Your dragon scales increase your armor by 75%. That's not bad. We're going to get our res option at 59, and a couple more cooldowns at level 60. We'll worry about that when we get there. So we've got Glide, we've got Tail Swipe, Wing Buffet, I've already shown you those. Armor skills. Evokers prefer to wear mail armor. Yes! We finally have more than 2 classes that can wear mail in this game. I'm so happy about that. Finally, Shamans and Hunters have another class they can exchange armor pieces with. Thank you. Oh, I was getting so tired of seeing so many leather classes. And of course, we have 3 cloth classes, and then we've got the other 3 plate classes. But we only had 2 mail. It was driving me insane when I would play my Shaman or my Hunter. I'm so glad they finally added a 3rd one. Although they can wear cloth and leather armor, you receive a 5% increase to intellect for wearing mail. Awakened, a passive, increases your mastery by 1%. The question, though, is what is a Evoker's mastery? And I don't see what it does here. Usually it'll say what your mastery actually does per class or race. I've got the Pathfinder rank 2 already for some of these other ones here. That's funny. Passive, Discerning Eye. Increases your perception by 2%. Perception increases your ability to spot rare regions while gathering. Racial passive, Familiar Skies. Soar's cooldown is reduced by 1 minute on continents that you have fully explored. Languages, Orcish and Draconic. I guess because I'm a Horde Dracthyr. Also, I'm apparently going to have to go see the trainer to increase my writing skills. Weapons. Evokers can use axes, daggers, fist weapons, maces, staves, and swords. Okay. Collections. I'm obviously going to have to go ahead and maybe put a bit of heirloom gear on this character, though it's not a huge deal, honestly. But I am going to have to do as well, though, is go ahead and take advantage of the scouting map toys that I have here, because that will help out with that other passive. The one about once you have an explored continent, you have a reduced cooldown on that ability. So, looks like I've been missing out on teaming up with other Dracthyr players to take care of some of these enemies, but whatever. I'm sure there will be plenty.
The Dracthyr are relics of a forgotten past. They have no place in Azeroth.
I need to target something first. I must get closer.
Decayed rations. Stack of weapons. Crate of war scales.
I do not have a target.
Let us begin.
Those constructs were animated with blue Dragonflight magic. The Earth Warder would never have allowed this.
Diplomacy first.
Respect must be earned.
When memory fails, fall back on your training.
The Dracthyr.
Skyr is ancient, and the food has turned to dust. It makes no sense. Those rations should have lasted a lifetime. Well, we will make do with what we have.
Fair skies.
Your skills are needed, Evoker.
Winds to you.
The creche is crumbling and we have few supplies. We must reach the passage out, but we have to get past this arcane barrier first. In the chamber beyond, there are Dracthyr in need of aid. Tend to their wounds. Destroy any foe who stands in your way. This may be the last time we walk these halls together, PapaNeeks. Make it count.
The Obsidian Warders stand proud.
Cinderthresh, can you bring down this barrier?
Zuri! Just the reinforcements I needed.
Have you found the Earth Warder?
No, he is not in this chamber. But there is a
different dragon.
Come forth, loyal servants of Malagos.
Ah, that explains it.
Aberrations.
well, this should be fun.
So these guys are still loyal to Malagos. That makes sense.
What do you remember, Zuri? Before the stasis?
Only fragments. A battle against a great foe. We claimed victory.
I think, though I fear we paid a terrible price for it.
Find answers. But first, we need to get our people out of here.
By wing or by talon, we will see it done.
There is much to be done.
I like that there is a mix, or that there are abilities that you can use either for damage or healing. I do like that. I like hybrid stuff like that. What can I say?
That dragon is going to collapse our only way out!
We are bound by duty.
You healed our people. Well done. Now to deal with that dragon.
The Dracthyr will find a place in this world.
Apparently I didn't have a weapon.
I am ready. What do you need?
That blue dragon will collapse the creche and trap us inside. He claims to serve Malagos. That name is familiar, but why would any dragon want to keep us prisoner? Listen, PapaNeeks, we were trained to fight beside the dragons, not against them, but we have been left with no choice. It's time to do what must be done, Evoker. Alright.
Let's get back to training.
We were trained to defend dragons, not to fight them. This feels wrong.
The Pizagos has left us no choice, Surrey. He means to destroy us. So today, we fight for each other. For all Dracthyr.
Well said, my friend.
You dare defy the will of Malagos?
Is collapsing! Our training grounds are completely overgrown. We must have been in stasis for a very, very long time.
Cut the chatter, Kodethi. Hostiles could be lurking. Evoker, time to get those skills sharpened. You call that a uniform?
We will get that rubble cleared and make sure that no Dracthyr is left behind. But first, we need to secure this area.
You have your orders.
You are an Evoker. The best of the best. An elite soldier who has mastered the skills of each of our Wyrns. I expect a lot of you. Your memories may be broken, but the might of dragons courses through your veins. Harness it! One of your most potent weapons is your breath attack. The fire within becomes more powerful the longer you inhale. These insects swarming over our training grounds should make fine targets. Aha. So yeah, this is one of the things that they advertise about this.
We are the shield of the Dracthyr.
The longer you cast an empowered spell, the more powerful it will become. Hold down your spell key to begin casting and then release the cast. That beacon ahead, I am certain that it was not there before we were imprisoned. Spellcraft is not my forte, but I know arcane magic when I see it. The same magic used by the blue dragon in the creche. He said a name, Malagos. It sounds so familiar, but the Earthwarder's teachings feel distant, fragmented. If this Malagos put us into stasis, perhaps the arcane beacon was placed on his orders. Investigate the area and report back. Ensure the beacon cannot be used to call in enemy reinforcements.
First, the beacon pulses with magic. It may have been placed there to contain us, or to send a signal.
Whoops, my bad. I forgot to hold it down. Silly me. Oh, there's also this thing here. Oh, that lets me reset my breath. Oh, that's cool. Alright, so it wants me to go ahead and do different versions of this breath attack.
I need to target something first.
So let's take a look at this breath attack once more. I imagine that is the most powerful version right there.
What is your report?
So there were beacons placed outside the other creches as well. Our allies are in peril. We must reach them.
Stay true to your Wern.
Here to spar?
Good. You remember your training. Keep your head low and your lungs full.
You have your orders.
We have income.
Die, Dracthyr!
Emberthal!
Whoa!
Thank the Earth.
Emberthal!
Her wisdom is needed.
What do you have to report?
I am heartened to see that so many escaped the war crash. My own Wern were not as fortunate. There are other creches throughout the Reach, filled with Dracthyr in peril. Strong wings will be needed to reach them. Focus. Remember your training. Get a feel for the wind again. You must regain your strength and fly to the other creches. The time for rest is over. So this is where we learn Soar, where we're able to launch ourselves into the air. It's got a 4-minute cooldown.
State.
It is good to see you, Emberthal. But where is your Wern?
I awakened. The rest of my Dracthyr did not.
May their names be ever remembered.
May their names be ever remembered.
Any new discoveries?
Let us begin your flight training with coasting. When you begin to soar, simply move forward as if you were gliding. The difference is that you pick up speed as you travel in the same direction. Try coasting through these rings I conjured. It may take a few tries to get used to.
Fair skies and
All right.
strong winds, friend.
Hey look, I'm playing Superman 64. Learn about diving.
I am thinking.
Okay, diving is next. As you soar, tip your nose down. You will pick up speed as you dive. Turn your nose up before hitting the ground and you will accelerate, burning off all of that energy you built up from your fall. See if you can hit all these rings. Take as many tries as you need.
I believe in planning, not luck.
Alright. Whoops, wrong button. Whoops. Little rough there. Didn't exactly do that very smooth, but then again, it's my first time trying. Oh my goodness. Surge forward, skyward ascent. Principles of soaring.
Let us begin.
When you are airborne, you might have noticed that you can occasionally surge forward or ascend skyward. These are limited boosts that you can give you that extra burst of speed or gain more airtime. Use them sparingly, as you will only be able to use them so many times for each soar. Try them at your leisure.
Diplomacy first. Any new discoveries?
You're getting the hang of this a lot faster than I was. But then you finished your evoker training. I was hoping to specialize as a diplomat.
Fair skies and
Jumping through hoops is helpful to get through your bearings, but we train like we fight relentlessly. Go ahead and try soaring around the area until you feel you have mastered the technique. Of course, you must be mindful of the local wildlife and keep an eye out of any potential threats. That is why we practice, after all. Report back to Emberthal when you feel that you are ready. Good luck.
Remain steadfast.
Alright, so I think right there is a good moment to go and accept the quest.
Fair skies and strong winds, Evoker.
I'm going to go ahead and cut off here, and there are a couple things I'm going to do. First, one thing I'm probably going to try and reset some of my add-ons. The other is I'm probably going to try and see if I can have my guild invite my character. And, yeah, and then we will continue from there, going through what I guess is going to be the Dracthyr starting zone experience. Stay tuned.